another episode of Dos and a Half Cincos. This is episode number 102. This week in our movie of the week, we cover Ghostbusters Afterlife. But before we get into it, as always, I'm your host, David.
I am Stuart.
And I am Ben.
Guys, outside of our movie of the week this week, what else did you guys see? Ben?
I got to see, I was one of 5 people in the world that's West Side Story.
Did it not do good?
It did not. It bombed.
Yikes.
We'll see in the box office rundown, but yeah, it bombed. And I'm very sad about that because I actually really liked it.
Rotten Tomatoes doesn't necessarily mean...
I only saw a thing about this. I didn't really look into it, so I'm just going to ask you. Did you also like the part where they didn't have subtitles for anything?
You know, it was one of those things where it wasn't like, 10 whole minutes of just Spanish. You know,
like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like, and then they shoot someone. I was like, oh my god, why? It's more like, they're you can kind of infer by context clues like what the hell they're talking about. Like I didn't know what the hell they're talking about, but you can kind of make out like, oh, they don't want what's his face to hear this or something, or oh, they're just bad mouthing that guy. It's just like small things here and there. So I didn't really care.
So I ordered a taco and an enchilada, and he gave me an enchilada.
He gave me a chili relleno.
Kill him.
That's what sparks the whole fight. Like, man, I've got his order wrong.
But yeah, I did read that going into the movie, and I was a little worried about that because
I mean, let's be honest, if you didn't have Letty there,
yeah, did you keep nudging her? What did they say? What was that?
And because we're the only people in the theater, I could just loudly say, "Letty, what'd they say?"
What?
What?
Was that the same way that went down when you guys went to go see Shang-Chi? Did she nudge you every time that they said something in Chinese?
Yeah, and I just made stuff up,
I can't understand this accent.
They're speaking English. But from Letty's perspective, it was pure 100% like authentic Spanish, so that's good. But
none of that fake Spanish.
Hey, there's some fake Spanish out there. Make sure you check with your dealer before you.
Make sure you check for the stamp on the movie poster.
Don't get caught with fake Spanish.
Make sure it's 100% imported Spanish.
Hecho in Mexico.
Hecho in Mexico. Okay. Well, I know that we're not planning on doing a full-on review with that, but that was the...
Real quick, sorry. David, Can you take the microphone out of your mouth?
Sure. Well, let me readjust this and do nothing. Ben, I know that we're not planning on doing like a full review for this. Stu, is this better?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Ben, I know we're not planning on doing a full review for West Side Story, but if you were to give it a rating, what would you have given it if we did a full one?
I honestly think I would have given it like a 9.9.
Wow.
Why
really dock it 0.1?
That has to be a very specific 0.1 points.
Yeah.
It is literally just the main lead. Everyone else was so fucking good in the movie. But like the main lead, he's like okay, he's not like the best singer in the world, but it's like that guy you could take to karaoke and he can like sing on key, but he's not like an amazing singer. And he's like not that charming. The only thing that he had going for him was he was really tall, and that's it.
Are you just upset it wasn't Adam Driver?
Man, Adam Driver wasn't a musical earlier, so it could have happened. But yeah, I don't know. It's like out of all the other things going on in the movie, that was like the one little thing I could dock it points for. That was it. Everything else, damn, it was so fucking good.
Have you ever seen any of the other stuff that he's been in?
Ansel Elgort, yeah.
Ansel Elgort. Okay.
I mean, Baby Driver. He was in Baby Driver.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in
the Divergent series.
Oh, I never saw that.
Yeah, thanks for that, David.
Yeah,
you're
so
welcome.
David, tell us about the Divergent series.
Yeah, thanks
well, let me tell you,
that existed.
If there's a movie series that just sort of ends the saga of what happened in that, like the trilogy, it's actually pretty good.
What was it with Woody? Woody, what's her name? main
uh,
actress.
the crap, I forgot her name.
But
Shailene Woodley or
that's
whatever.
what Shailene Woodley. Well,
Yeah, Shailene Woodley. So for that's recently just saw that series because I'd never seen it before, and so I finally watched it a couple of weeks ago. And when this movie got released, West Side Story, and I saw that he was the lead, I was like, I couldn't not see him as that. So I thought that was probably what your gripe was going to be.
okay. Well, I got asked the burning question.
That's a burning question.
Why did you watch Divergent?
Irene saw it. She said that she liked it. And
Yeah, but why did you see it?
why do you watch weird movies? Because somebody else in
Because
your group has
Somebody
watched
else
it.
wanted you to watch it.
Exactly. Wanted to get my take on it since we're expert movie reviewers.
Yeah, we're professionals. Even to the
Hey, we're
professionals.
102 of these into this, okay? That there is definitely a very deep catalog of work that we put into this.
You can call it that.
I get paid, remember?
Wait, you do?
Wait,
We're
you've been
getting paid?
Yeah. Paid in theoretical internet clout.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Stu, what about you? What did you see this week?
Not anything too spectacular. This is probably more of a Ben thing because I didn't watch it live. But as I recall, Ben said last week you were gonna watch the game whatever.
Oh, the Game
thing.
Award show?
Is it the Game Awards? I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
game thing was on.
Yeah, it was the Game Awards. Yeah,
Okay.
I watched that too.
Right. And I'd seen after the fact that they're making a new 40K Space Marine game, making
Yeah.
a sequel to the 2011 Space Marine game on PS3.
So when that was happening, like the chat was blowing up about that, and I didn't know what was really going on. Like everyone was like losing their minds when the guy took off his helmet and everything. Like I have no context to that. What is that all about?
I lost my mind too because I was like, oh my god. So spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't played Space Marine and was looking to play it. The character they reveal at the end of the trailer is the protagonist from the first game, where at the end of the game, after he saves the day, saves the planet, saves everyone, the Inquisition, for anyone who's familiar with 40K, shows up, and they're kind of like the I don't know how to put this in layman's normie terms, but they're like the government police, and they show up and they're like, hey, guy whose name's Captain Titus, you couldn't have done that without being corrupted. You have to come with us now. And basically, when the Inquisition wants you, you're either dead, they kill you, or they do something really bad to you. So that was how the first game ended. And so, but then he's here, so something must have happened, and everyone's going to be super excited to see how he's still alive. So that was why everyone lost their shit.
All right, are you gonna pick it up?
Hell yeah. That'll be the first game on PS5 I'll probably play.
In
Do they have a
2024.
release date for that?
I don't know. I think it was still in development right now.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's not your first PS5 game you get.
Yeah, me too.
That's going to be quite some time, and that thing's going to gather some dust.
2024.
Well, there's Elden Ring, but unless you get it for PC.
Yeah, unless I don't know why everyone loves these games. I think they're ass.
What, like Skyrim, Elder Scrolls?
These From Software games.
To be honest, like
honestly, they're all the same game. They're all the same game. Everything, even the text, even the font they use is the same.
Hey, we lost.
Is this the Dark Souls, Bloodborne?
Yeah,
guys?
Yeah, Dark Souls, Bloodborne,
But does Dark Souls or
Demon Souls,
do any of those things have a writer as strong as George R.R. Martin?
You didn't really write too much of it.
Yeah. If it's if history's any indicator, it'll
You
take
get to
him
play the
like
protagonist,
the game will
Daenerys
come out.
Targaryen.
The game will come out before he's finished writing it, and then we'll have to just keep waiting for installments.
Game of Thrones,
story
number 8, The Elden Ring. Daenerys Targaryen comes back.
The final DLC will come out 10 years later.
10 years after he dies.
Yeah. Post-mortem DLC.
Oh, God. Why does he have to be dead?
Well,
That's
otherwise it's not going to get released.
See, David, the joke here is that he takes so long to write things that
No, I know the joke.
I don't think he did.
So let me explain it to you.
Everything's funnier when you explain it. So, see, David, back when George R. R. Martin started writing,
Back when we was a wee little lad.
I wish I was a pretty princess named Daenerys. And he set out to write a book series where he placed himself. Okay.
Okay. Anything else before we move over to our box office rundown?
Box office the rundown.
I like that.
The
I like
rundown.
that.
Yeah, that's
Box
pretty...
office, the
The
rundown.
I put the wrong article before the wrong word.
Well, it's a happy accident.
Box office, the rundown. I guess that's the thing it's called now.
If I ever make a movie, that's the title of it.
Box office, the rundown.
Starring the guys from the Raid.
Ooh.
Redemption.
Yeah.
Raid, the redemption.
Raid. Well, yeah, it's opposite.
The Raid, the redemption. Every word has the word "the" in front of it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Coming in at number 1 is no surprise, West Side Story. But the story behind it is actually it only grossed $10.5 million.
Yikes.
Do we have how much the production budget was for this thing? That's probably the most shocking part.
Well, let's see.
West Side Story. Yeah, type clickety click. Do.
How is it taking so long?
I don't know, because there's a 1960 version. 1961 is the other one. $100 million budget.
Yeesh.
Well, I guess this is the last time we see Steven Spielberg do anything, so I'm ready to wait for Steven Spielbergo.
Yeah.
Drink up, Judah Benner.
Okay, coming at number 2 is the number 1 movie from last week, Encanto, with 9.9. Its total gross right now is at $71 million. Number 3, Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is our movie of the week this week, gross 7.1. Total right now is at $112 million. Number 4 is House of Gucci. Number 5, Eternals. Number 6, Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, the movie of the week from 2 weeks ago, plus last week.
Whatever.
And number 7, Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Woo!
Number 8, Christmas with the Chosen, The Messengers. Number 9, Dune. Number 10, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Dropping out of the top 10 is number 12, and falling to number 12 is King Richard with $500,000. Guys, any comments, questions, concerns?
I'm very sad about West Side Story.
It's a little concerning that Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City did more on its opening weekend than West Side Story.
Yeah.
Well, is there a term for
With
Resident
the
Evil
fraction
people
of the
who are
budget?
fans?
Yeah.
A literal fraction of the budget of West Side Story.
Yep.
How much was the budget for Resident Evil?
I think I saw just now it's like 25 million.
Yep.
Wow. Do you think throwing more money at it would have fixed it?
The move Raccoon City?
Yes.
No, no. Having someone
$100 million budget.
Yeah,
for
having
Resident
someone
Evil
who cared about the actual franchise would have saved it.
for
How much
75
money that-
more million.
I would have learned how to write a screenplay for a fraction of that money and wrote it for them. A couple million.
I think it honestly boiled down to like studio tampering. It seemed a little fishy.
Yeah.
Tinfoil hat conspiracy.
But we're here to talk about West Side Story and why it only got 10. Is that like the
Yeah.
lowest, like number one, like box office?
I don't think so.
I would need to do a little digging. I'll get back to you next week on that.
I'm not going to care by next week.
Okay, I guess I'll do some very preliminary.
Or you can just not do it at all.
But I think this kind of highlights where movies are and cinema is kind of heading towards. It's like I mentioned in a previous week about like the mid-budget movie, or just anything that isn't a superhero blockbuster tentpole movie. There isn't really any room for that anymore. People don't really want to see these kind of movies anymore, and it's sad for me. But I mean,
yeah, like The Last Duel.
Yep, Last Duel.
Yeah, it's because everybody's on their cell phones. That's clearly the reason.
Those damn
millennials on their
even
cell
though
phone.
they're adults now. Those damn
Zoomers,
millennials.
And your TikTok and your OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, the movie.
Yeah, actually, Ben, in recent memory, there's nothing that really can top this as a huge bomb. I mean, Suicide Squad, that was, even though it was released on 2 platforms, even in the box office, it still did better. $26 million.
Wait, Suicide, like the
Suicide Squad? No, the newest one from this past year.
I thought that did
the biggest one that probably didn't do well, that gave it a run for its money, was Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Jesus, that's too many words.
Yeah, but that grossed $11 million the first week.
Yeah,
Nice.
Against like a budget of what, like 12 million? Like I feel like
something like that.
The budget on that movie must have been ridiculously low. Like this one was a very high budget. Yeah, 2.5 hour movie. So I mean, not even accounting for the amount of money it made, you also have to account for the amount of time it takes too, because it's longer than your average movie, which means you can't squeeze in as many showings as you like for it.
Yeah. Well, actually, we found a winner. Spiral.
Spyro
the Dragon?
No, the Chris Rock Saw movie.
That had a higher budget?
No, it was $8.7 million gross, but I don't think anything can top the budget for $100 million.
Yeah, like the ratio from the box office to budget.
Yeah, bueno.
I'm really sad about this. Damn.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do one last really quick.
You should have let Steven Spielberg direct instead.
Wait, they're all
that way if it tanked, he could say, "Well, it's my
You can say,
Spanish
"Ay,
cousin."
Dios mío."
Are you saying boo or boo earns? I was saying boo earns. Okay. Yeah, enough about this. So this week, actually, we got a little bit of a treat. The Golden Globes released their list of nominees. Did you guys catch that at all?
No.
Sound like, can we insert crickets here at this point?
Why do we need Golden Globes when we got those 5incos?
Well, I'm curious how many of these names you actually recognize.
Probably none.
Under the best, no, you will. Under the best motion picture for drama, we have Belfast.
Nope.
Coda.
Nope.
Dune.
Okay.
King Richard. The Power of the Dog. That's the Benedict Cumberbatch movie on Netflix.
Was that on Netflix?
Correct.
Oh.
King Richard is on HBO Max. Dune obviously was on HBO Max as well. I don't know the other two, Belfast or Coda. Ben, are you familiar with either of those?
I know Belfast. I know that's definitely like a contender for movie of the year.
Out of those, based on what you know, obviously, Stu, you're not going to be able to tell us anything about the first two, but out of the three that you know, which one do you think would be your best? What do you think that would contend for Best Picture?
Wait, can you repeat the three movies again?
King Richard, Dune, The Power of the Dog, Belfast, and Coda.
Ooh, if anything, I've heard a lot of murmurs about Power of the Dog and Belfast. However,
okay,
I'm a little skeptical about Belfast.
Dune. Okay.
No, I mean Dune. I don't think has a shot really. I mean, as much as I would like it to, I don't think
too much mass appeal.
Pretty much. that is kind of it.
You can't give these awards to movies that everybody likes.
I don't know.
I have to
Everybody,
feel better than everyone when I say
Yeah.
that I like this movie.
everybody
What?
goes
Oh,
over their head.
you've never heard of this movie? Well, let me tell you about the cinematography on
Yeah,
this
that-
fine costume.
Based on that, shouldn't Coda win? Because none of us even know what the hell that movie is.
You know what?
Oh,
I'm going to
but-
call it right now. It will win because nobody knows what it is.
There we go. Okay, Stu's gonna be the winner on this one. I'm calling it. Stu's picking Coda.
Okay.
And then Ben, you have to pick one, only one. None of the split decision crap. Belfast or The Power of the Dog.
Belfast.
Just because it's harder to get to. Okay. All right. Best.
What do you
motion
mean it's
picture-
harder to get to? What's that
No,
mean?
it's harder to find. I didn't even know that the movie was released. I have no idea what that is. Best motion picture. Sorry, best motion picture for comedy. Cyrano, Don't Look Up, Licorice Pizza, Tick Tick Boom, and West Side Story.
That's a comedy?
It's
Musical
comedy
slash
/ like
comedy.
musical. That's the.
Is that the,
I don't know
that's
why
the
they put them
genre.
together.
That's the category.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Out of those, if you need me to repeat it, I will repeat it, but I will let you guys pick from there. Stu or Ben?
I feel like it's going to be literally a coin toss or coin
A
toss.
coin toss?
Coin toss.
A toy.
Box office.
Coin toss.
The rundown. Toss coin.
Oh, I
The
just saw
rundown.
Belfast. That's a lovely picture. Hoity toy.
I think it is going to boil down to either Licorice Pizza or West Side Story, and I can't say Licorice Pizza or anything about Licorice Pizza because I haven't seen it yet. But I'm going to at the end of the month when it's wide release. But right now I have to say West Side Story.
I'm gonna say Licorice Pizza because I think that movie looks stupid.
Wait, I really want to see that movie, man. It's going to be our movie of the week.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Look at it.
I feel like the way
Look
it's going
at
to go
it.
is because West Side Story is doing so poorly, they're going to be like, well, at least you won a Golden Globe for Best Picture. That's going to be the consolation prize, so to speak. And then there's the Best Actor for drama, which kind of breaks down from all the other ones. Benedict Cumberbatch in The Power of the Dog, Will Smith in King Richard, Denzel Washington in The Tragedy of Macbeth, Mahershala Ali from Swan Song, and then Javier Bardem from Being the Ricardos.
Oh, I actually wanted to see that.
No, When
That's
did that movie come
the
out?
I Love Lucy movie,
Yeah,
right?
that is. Man, I'm very split on that movie. Like, I think the subject matter is good. I'm not sure about the director. So,
well, this is their acting chops, pretty much,
Right,
right?
right.
I'm
We're
gonna
not
go
talking
Will
about
Smith
director.
though,
Okay.
even though I haven't seen the movie.
Do you have any desire to see the movie at all?
King Richard, yeah,
Oh, okay.
I've been meaning to watch it.
Yeah, so have I. I was gonna try to squeeze it in this weekend, and I was like, oh, I still have to go see Ghostbusters.
wait,
Let
so
me
where are the
that.
choices again?
Benedict Cumberbatch in The Power of the Dog, Will
Uh-huh.
Smith in King Richard, which is Ben's
Yeah.
pick, Stu's pick right now.
Yep,
Denzel Washington in The Tragedy of Macbeth, I can't even say this guy's name. Mahershala Ali in Swan Song, and then Javier Bardem in Being the Ricardos.
I'm gonna go Benedict Cumberbatch.
Are you saying it like that just because I effed up everybody else's name?
Yeah. Benedict
Okay.
Cumberbatch.
Okay.
Benedict
I would
Cumberbatch.
say I would
Dick
ask you guys about actresses.
Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch. I was gonna ask you guys about Best Actress, but unless you guys recognize all these names, I don't know if they're. Oh, actually, it'd be okay. Jessica Chastain in The Eyes of Tammy Faye,
Mhm.
Nope.
Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter, Nicole Kidman in Being the Ricardos, Lady Gaga in The House of Gucci, and Kristen Stewart in Spencer, which is the Princess Diana movie.
Oh, I just watched that. Oh yeah, I just watched that movie
You watched? Wait, when did you watch Spencer?
last week. I forgot. Yeah, I watched it.
Okay. Choices. Pick.
I'm gonna go Being the Nicole Kidman just because that's the only one I know.
Okay.
Kristen Stewart's gonna win.
You don't know Kristen Stewart?
Kristen Stewart's gonna win.
I know
Okay,
Kristen
yeah.
Stewart, but why? I mean, why?
Because she's playing Princess Diana. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's the reason.
And she's been tearing it up recently. So
just from I mean, yeah. Have you seen her in Underwater? Man, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen Underwater yet, but I do want to see
What,
it.
dude?
What?
How can you still?
I thought we talked about
No,
it.
no, no, that was me. I saw
Yeah.
it,
Oh,
and
I
I
want to see it.
but I think Ben asked you about confirming a theory of his about the source material, and
oh.
then you said yes, and I think that's when he said, I don't know if I want to watch it.
What's the Princess Diana movie called?
Spencer.
A movie about Princess Diana.
Spencer.
Because that was her married
Maiden name?
name, right?
Maiden name, isn't it?
Oh.
No.
Oh,
But-
yeah, maybe that one will because I feel like they're just because I don't know what it is with people in the U.S.
The
and
royal
all over the
family.
world in their infatuation with royal families. But I think just based on that, then it'll probably win.
Okay. I don't want to go into directors just because I know Ben's the only person who pays attention to that stuff. The
Free points.
the two the last two categories are best performance by an actor or actress in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. We have Leonardo DiCaprio in Don't Look Up, Peter Dinklage in Cyrano, Andrew Garfield in Tick Tick Boom, Cooper Hoffman in Licorice Pizza, and then Anthony Ramos in The Heights.
Ooh, that's difficult.
I'm gonna go Peter Dinklage.
Okay.
I might have to go Licorice Pizza.
Okay.
Of course, because it looks awful.
It sounds awful too, but let me tell you about the subject matter.
I am with you on that.
Anything involving the 70s is just awful.
Ben picks Licorice Pizza.
Everybody's sweaty and gross, and there's nobody has air conditioning. Yeah, so you understand.
you're just pandering to the group. Why don't you just
Everyone's got like the afro or the Jufro or the whatever.
I want a fro.
Okay.
Just go
Ben,
get a
does
perm.
So Ben, does that mean that for best performance by an actress in a motion picture, musical, or comedy, you're just going to pick Alana Haim in Licorice Pizza?
I might. Who are the rest of the
Rachel Ziegler from West Side Story.
Ziegler. Ooh.
Zegler. Emma Stone from Cruella. Jennifer Lawrence in Don't Look Up. And then Marion Cotillard in Annette.
Cotillard, yeah. Go on.
No, that's the five.
In Syrian? Or in Cyrano or whatever?
No, it's Annette.
Annette. Oh. Actually, I might go with Ziegler.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like a SS officer in Nazi Germany. I don't know what does.
Ben, are you going with
Ziegler.
the same thing?
What?
Oh, sorry, not Ben. Stu.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the question.
Jennifer Lawrence, Emma Stone, Rachel Ziegler in West Side Story, Alana Haim in Licorice
What's
Pizza.
the category?
The best actress.
Oh, the same thing, but for actors.
Yeah. For comedy.
I'll go Licorice Pizza because everything that's terrible always seems to win.
But you didn't do it for the other one.
That's because I actually had an opinion about the other one. This time I was
Peter Dinklage
from the hip. This time.
All right. So when these get released, I'll keep an eye on them, and we'll see how close you guys got based on your guys' assumptions.
I got the free square from directors, right? From my
no, you get 0 because we're not counting it.
I get the free.
Okay,
square.
how about this? It'll be if you get it right, it's 0. If you get it wrong, it's negative. So best director in motion picture.
Oh, sorry, I'm
Kenneth
going through a tunnel.
Branagh. Branagh.
What's going on here?
I don't know. All right, how many of these guys do you actually recognize, though? Obviously, everybody recognizes Steven Spielberg, Dennis Villanueva from Dune,
Danny Villeneuve.
Danny V.
Villanueva. No, it's Villanueva. Maggie Gyllenhaal in The Lost Daughter is the director. Jane Campion, The Power of the Dog, and then Kenneth Branagh from Belfast.
I recognize everyone except Power of the Dog.
Okay, and which one would you pick out of those?
I mean, biasly, I would probably pick, Steven Spielberg.
Okay, what about you, Stu? Just off of the top
I
of your
have
head,
no
just pick
idea.
one.
Steven Spielberg. That's
Don't
the only
worry,
name I
Stu.
know.
Stu, don't worry, you'll be correct.
Okay.
Whatever it is, even if it's not.
Why, you're gonna
'Cause
hold a
I
gun
heard
to
all
the
of them.
presenters' heads?
It's gonna be West Side Story, right? Right. Here's 20 million of our $100 million budget. Make sure this wins. Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. That replaced Cinco or Swimo just because this was kind of a
Time
big
concerns.
yeah. So we'll go ahead and move over to our movie of the week this week, Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's part of the gripe I have with it. We didn't hear the theme very much.
There's something strange in your neighborhood. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters.
All right, Ben, tell us about it.
Well, David, if there's something weird and it don't look good, who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
No, we're gonna call your mom because she forgot to pick you up, David.
What? Why would you forget to pick me up?
Because there's something weird and it don't look good, and it's probably you. All
Probably
right.
David Chen.
Okay.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Okay. Well, before we do that, we have to hear what everybody's thoughts are. Stu, thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife?
So I'm gonna say this without ever having seen Ghostbusters, the fake Ghostbusters fan fiction they made in 2016. But I feel like this was a better attempt, a good attempt at bringing back a franchise, a beloved franchise for all ages, for everyone to enjoy, young and old. You got the new characters blending into the lore and the story of the original movies, and I thought it was pretty well done. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and that's all I'm gonna say for right now.
Okay. So, what score would you be giving it for this one?
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
What about you, Benjamin?
I also hated it.
I
I actually,
Wait, what?
yeah, I did enjoy it. You know, I actually came in with pretty moderate expectations. Jason Reitman, he was involved with this franchise at a very young age. I think he was a kid when he acted in Ghostbusters 2 or something, if I remember correctly. I can't
He
remember.
was the baby.
But he has some connection to this, you know, and you know, his father, I think, actually directed the movie or the one of the original movies. So, you know, it's nice to have that kind of connection there. Now, I am on the other side of the spectrum for this. I have never seen Ghostbusters at all.
God damn it.
I've never seen Ghostbusters 1, 2, or the
Ben, what are you
movie.
doing on this podcast? How can
I
you
ask myself
how can
that
you
every
review this
week, and
movie
you guys keep
objectively?
sending me the fucking invite every week. So what am I supposed to do? Just ignore it? No, I have to answer the
Yes.
call. I have to
Do
answer it.
yourself and do us a favor.
Then stop
and if you're
sending
not
the
pre-
invite.
If you're not prepared, it's just I already put you in as by default, and it just sends it out every week.
Yeah, well,
Whenever I click do
well,
something.
that's your fault. All right, that's on you. All right, I'm just doing you a service.
You need to just recognize the laziness that's important here, and just ignore it if you're not going to be prepared. Why why even show up? This isn't practice. This is a game.
Okay, so before you continue, you haven't seen the original movies, but I'm assuming it's one of those situations where you know enough about.
Yeah, he knows the source material.
I kind of do. So I don't really know I guess the atmosphere of the movies really. Like, from my understanding, it's about, you know, some science fiction, you know, dealing with ghosts and whatnot, but I want to say it's also like a very much an 80s movie, right? Like, it's an 80s Bill Murray comedy movie.
Yeah,
Am I getting that correct?
That's I would say that. Yeah.
So it doesn't really have like the same sort of atmosphere that this movie carried, where this movie felt more of like a coming of age, like Steven Spielberg Goonies movie, if anything, right?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So like it had like it was tonally different, but I think it did work. But like I said, I've never seen the original movie, so I don't know if it's right for me to say that, if that makes sense.
If
Like,
this was, let's say, let's say instead of having to be like a for you to continue the legacy of this, it's just
mm,
like, hey, we have the spirit of this here, we're rebooting it.
mm.
Does that change your opinion at all? If this is like the beginning, this is like movie one of another three. It's not like it's not tied to one and two of the
Oh,
original.
I think it still works incredibly well. It's just
Okay.
I just don't know how I feel about that. You know, it continuing this franchise that has like a completely different feel, and trying to continue forward with something that is good in like a vacuum. But I don't know how it is tied to that. It's almost like when we watched Bad Boys, right? The Bad Boys for Life. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that the new one was good in a vacuum. Like just looking on it in its own scope, I thought, yeah, this is an okay movie. Tie it into to the other Bad Boys, though, it's like, well, this is not really something that would work for fans of the previous movies because it
This
doesn't
is
have.
not a Bad Boys movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a Bad Boys movie. So does this kind of apply to this movie too? Is this like a Ghostbusters movie? Does it have like the same formula that would make it something that you would make it enjoyable for a Ghostbusters fan? I don't know, but for me, I think it works. I thought it was extremely witty. I feel like most of my notes actually are just zingers and lines, and I was just surprised at how many there were. I'm like, damn, damn, damn. It's just like hit after hit. However, when the movie was winding down, I did feel like it was struggling kind of a bit. I feel like there more tinfoil hat conspiracy time. I do think that there
Oh
was
boy.
some interference in here and the story changed quite a bit. And I honestly don't know how I feel about like a certain portion of the ending and how they handled it. Like I feel a little conflicted on it, but I want to hear what your guys' opinion is on it. I still really, really enjoyed it though. So I'm gonna give it with all those other road bumps, a 7.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to be right in the middle of the
Of
two because
course.
I think, well, I like being the cream filling in the Oreo cookie, I guess. I don't know.
You like
So
the
for
cream? Okay.
so for me, I kind of feel like I understand where they're coming from and what they're doing, but there were definitely some elements of it that I wasn't too fond of. I felt like I could see where Ben gets that angle where this is like this coming of age um part um that they had. What's the name of the kid that plays Mike in Finn Wolfhard?
Yeah.
For me, it, you know how like we were
What a
talking
name,
recently,
Finn Wolfhard. Holy
uh,
shit.
that's got to be made up, right? Recently we were just talking about guys who play characters and they just get kind of like casted into
they just play
just
themselves.
playing themselves. I felt like I was watching an episode of Stranger Things, an extended episode with him being in it, except for he's like maybe like a year or two older. I think he plays like 13 or something like that in Stranger Things, and here he's playing 15. So for me, that was a kind of hard for me to kind of divorce myself from thinking this is just a Ghostbusters crossover with Stranger Things because he's in it. Because he didn't really do anything to kind of diversify the character, like his character at all from Mike. So they, instead of calling him Trevor, just call him Mike. I think
Yeah.
I'd have been like, okay,
Hey,
well,
hey,
they're kind of
Stranger Things.
accepting this. Yeah, be the Stranger Things guy.
That's
But
the
Look
nickname
at
they
Stranger
gave him.
Things over here. Actually, I wanted to talk about that later because that's part of my tinfoil hat conspiracy on this
oh,
movie.
okay.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely really happy that they brought it back the way they did. I felt like we needed more Paul Rudd in this.
Yeah, surprisingly, I was kind of on the same boat. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about Colorado. But damn, I was like, yeah.
he's the biggest face on the poster, but he takes on the role of what's his name?
A side character.
No. What's
Wait.
shoot? What's his name? The actor from the original. Oh, what's his
Bill
name?
Murray.
No.
Uh,
Shit. He was God, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis, yeah. He basically took on that role.
Yeah, because if you look at the poster, he's the first one,
He's
and then
he's the biggest billing on the poster.
Yeah, so I was like, I felt a little bit misled. So I would have given it a higher score, but I felt like I was like, you kind of took away that dynamic. But I could kind of like, I thought that when we were watching this movie about halfway through, I was like, okay, we're gonna get this really big buildup, and then he kind of just disappears. So that's where it kind of lost it. But I kind of understand the reason why they went the other direction and kind of like phased him out of the story, was so that way you could focus on these core kids. So I think them introducing a new Ghostbusters to a new generation of moviegoers, I think is great. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a good introduction. I hope it brings more people to want to go watch the first and second movie.
Ben.
Yeah, and play the video game that apparently is supposed to be the third movie back in 2016 when they were developing.
Oh yeah, there was a game, wasn't there?
Yeah, so apparently because Bill Murray didn't want to sign on for a third film, they took whatever that they kind of built on that screenplay, and they just said, okay, that's we just created the third film, but it's a video game now. So I'm pretty sure this has nothing to do with the attempted reboot with what's his name?
We don't even need to refer to that abomination.
Okay, that didn't count, right? I didn't watch that one, so I'm assuming that it didn't matter.
No, I didn't watch it either, and I never will.
We just know it doesn't matter,
and I never will.
Okay. All right. So those are our general feelings about this. We'll go ahead and move over to the spoiler zone. So that way we can kind of talk about it, because I feel like there's something that Ben wants to get off his chest. I think that's as much as we get to do before we.
Yeah, I was just using that as a marker for anyone. Anyone for doesn't want to get spoiled.
Yeah. All right. Ben, tell us what your gripe is.
Your tinfoil conspiracy.
QAnon. Whales destroying the ocean. Welcome to the conspiracy corner.
Wait, that's a conspiracy? Whales destroying the ocean?
They poop in their water.
We don't have enough time in this segment to actually go into it, but we'll cover that next week in the conspiracy corner.
You say that every week.
We'll visit it when we have time.
Okay, so one of the major things I actually did not care for in this movie was actually Wolf Finhard. I feel like you could strip him out of the movie and it would actually be much better.
Yeah.
He
put more Paul Rudd in.
Well, yeah, you would have more time for Paul Rudd. Not even that.
I feel like McKenna Grace was really good in this.
Yeah, I actually really liked her character, and
she actually looks a lot like Ramis.
Yeah. So my tinfoil hat conspiracy is that he was not in the original movie at all, and they kind of shoehorned him in due to like some external, pressure. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was testing. Maybe it was like upper execs saying we need like more male power or like star power. Yeah, it's like, oh, we got Stranger Things guy.
Stranger Things.
We got Stranger Things. So it did seem like it was very like all his story beats were very disjointed and very distant from everyone else in the movie. Like his whole arc had no impact on anything that really happened in the movie. Like him getting a job, what did that do? Nothing. Oh, he fixed the car. Cool. I mean, anyone could have done that.
The girlfriend, clearly.
Yeah, he has a girlfriend. Cool. What'd she do? Nothing. Oh, her dad's a police officer? Great. It's just like you can just go through a whole list of things that mattered to him that did not matter to the rest of the movie, and no one would care. It's terrible.
I think they just needed someone old enough to drive.
Michael Cera would have been perfect.
Oh no! Shut up! Shut up!
See, I think that that's even a shitty reason. Like like fucking what's his name? Podcast could have driven, and that'd been really cool.
He's like 3 feet tall though.
I know, but he has all those gadgets.
Can you imagine him carrying around like a phone book with him?
Yeah, dude.
The dash. Come on,
he could be like Short Round.
Yeah, I actually thought he was like Short Round or like that kid from Goonies. I can't remember his name, but
Gadget,
Gizmo.
Gizmo.
Yeah, like he has all the gadgets and whatnot. But yeah,
Data.
you remind.
Wait a minute. Are
Data,
we
yeah.
just typecasting Asian kids to carry around technology?
Yes. Anyways, moving
Moving
on.
on. Yeah, moving on, David.
So I do think that a lot of the dialogue was actually awkward too. Whenever they were talking about like they're having like a heartfelt moment talking about how the mom's kids and everything, she would always specifically mention Phoebe. She'd be like, oh yeah, me and Phoebe, I had it really rough. And then they'd attack on and Trevor, and Trevor was there too. It's just like, wait.
And Trevor.
Yeah, and the rest. It's just like, it felt very awkward. And not only that, but this doesn't really tie in directly with my tinfoil hat conspiracy, but I want to say that there was another plot going on that was cut out from the movie to make way for this, and that was the founder of the town. I don't remember the name of the town.
Somerville,
but he, his corpse was down in the
Ivo Shandor.
Yeah, Ivor Shamdor, right? That was played by J.K. Simmons, and I'm like, wait, that's fucking J.K. Simmons. Or Letty said that's fucking J.K. Simmons. I'm like, holy fuck, you're right, that's J.K. Simmons.
What a waste!
I know, and he woke up and then he just got killed off. I'm like, that's all you had him in there for? Like, there's no way. There's no fucking way. And going into the final act too, I did feel that the original Ghostbusters, as much as I like to see them come back and everything, it did feel a little bit abrupt and kind of out of nowhere. Like, I know that she gave a call to one of them, but that's like the first time you see it, and there wasn't any like build up or anything for it, and they just magically show up at the right time in the farm place without like.
Of course, they're gonna show up at the right time. It's a movie,
and of course they're gonna show up with like 5 minutes.
You want them to show up at the
movie?
wrong time?
Yeah, but
actually, that would have been perfect for them.
Like, oh shit, everyone's already dead. Fuck, get it out of here.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't make it like gratifying. I felt
series.
like the whole thing with them showing up, it was just like, wait, how'd they even fucking get there? It's just like they
With
just
cars and planes and
what
travel.
car? They didn't even have a fucking car. That's
They
it.
showed up.
Like some 70-year-old fucks just show up, like walk out in the middle of a fucking field, and like, up here we are.
Well,
and then Bill Murray
has
collects
a
his
lot of
paycheck,
money.
and then turns around and gets out of there. It wasn't that satisfying, and I felt like
I'm not letting you have this, Ben. No,
huh?
I'm not letting you have this.
Well,
this is not the first time that like the hero trope shows up at the last second when everybody needs them. Like, this is clearly this is a comic book movie, right? You have to suspend disbelief just a little bit for the movie to work. I mean,
it just wasn't done in a satisfying way. Not only that, but it wasn't like I don't think in the context of the movie it was done well.
You want this to be like Sam Raimi's version of Ghostbusters Afterlife, where one of them gets dragged.
Did you just pull up a random director from your ass and you're just like, oh, this is something that sounds like Ben would say?
I don't know, David Fincher. It would be like if David Fincher did this thing. I don't know. That's the only one I could pull out of my ass.
I just don't remember anything supernatural. I just think Sam Raimi. I'm just like, right, this is something that would tickle Ben, right? This is what he would want. Apparently, Olivia Wilde plays Gozer.
Yeah.
Really? I could not even tell.
I don't think you could really
yeah.
I thought they did a pretty good job at doing Gozer up pretty much like the original.
Mm-hmm.
With a little 2021 update, but I thought that was I guess the one kind of gripe not really, and this wasn't really a gripe because this is the gripe to me in the same way that kind of like Star Wars Episode 7 was a gripe, where it's kind of a little bit of a retelling of this original, with Gozer and everything, or Dozier. What is it? Gozer. Yeah, Gozer. It was a little bit of like the retelling of the first movie with that whole situation with Gozer and the gate master and the gatekeeper, or keymaster and the gatekeeper. But I, even though it was kind of the same thing, I was still there for it. So, that it's not too big of a gripe on my part. And I'll say this, I guess, and I don't know if this helps at all for Ben's critique of the ending there. I felt I was satisfied by it because in the original,
Bill Murray's character, and you can just picture Bill Murray's character just because he's kind of like the same character in every movie, right?
Mhm.
Just the way that he called out to Gozer was very much in
His way.
in his character of Peter Venkman, of just kind of like, here's this big scary thing and he's just going to say something smart assy to them. So that to me was satisfying. And also I was like, as soon as she wrote down the phone number, I'm like, call them and get them down here. And as soon as she called them, I was like, oh, here we go, they're gonna be there. They're on their way. All right. So I was kind of waiting for that the whole time ever since she called.
I guess from that, like I was expecting more of a dive into what happened in those years. It's like
Maybe
he
we'll
was
get
starting to
another
get
movie.
into it. It was like, oh, this happened, and they were all broken up, and then suddenly they're together.
Well,
I was a little disappointed by that. I wanted to
maybe
see a little more story for that.
yeah, maybe if we didn't have so much time on Stranger Things,
Fucking
then,
Stranger Things, man.
Stranger
You
Things
took up
ruined
literally
it,
half the
man.
budget. Half the
I
fucking
know.
budget.
$75 million budget.
Oh,
I mean,
there is one thing I want to ask you about, particularly about how they handled Harold Ramis.
mhm.
How did you all feel about that? Because I felt kind of weird about it.
I really liked it. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah. I also think that it was the same, just because like there's no way for you to get him involved in another way.
Yeah.
I felt like if they tried to shoehorn it, I really liked the very beginning portion where the granddaughter Phoebe realizes that somebody's leading her down, right? It's like this apparition is not this very it's not like this I don't know, violent apparition, but it's like leading her into kind of like discovering parts of like her grandfather's farm and kind of understanding where he comes from and stuff like that, and kind of leads her down to like the lab and then helps her build the product. I like that. And the fact that they didn't have to physically manifest him in there, I thought that was a good touch.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, instead of just kind of like bashing over the head, hey, it's him, it's like, oh, okay, you kind of get rewarded with that at the very end, going, oh, he was always kind of watching over from the beginning. But I feel like the part that I think was a little bit missing was kind of maybe tying in or kind of going back a little bit back to that first initial encounter that Venkman has with the trap going poorly. You kind of get a little bit more of that. I think that would have helped tie things in a little bit better, but I thought it was done pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was one of the things that I didn't really like about the final sequence with with that trap, right? Like, it didn't go according to how Spiegman wanted, right? Like, he tried to hit it and something went wrong, and it would have been a good way to highlight maybe like Phoebe's strengths. It's like, oh, she's smart, she could figure out how to fix it. But no, fucking Stranger Things just blasts it to shit. Great, okay, you saved the day.
Fucking Stranger Things at it again.
Yeah, just smashing things. I think the one thing that kind of like made it difficult for me to kind of grab. I know that this is a movie. We need to suspend disbelief a little bit, but I think they could have leaned into that more of that like guardian type spirit angle when they couldn't figure stuff out. Like things would just automatically flick on correctly, but for some reason, all these kids just know which buttons to push and what things do and how to run the equipment, even though there's no labels on anything. That was the part that kind of like took me out of that immersive feeling.
It's just intuitive UI, David.
Yeah, it's
intuitive
just it's not. Everybody knows how to operate freaking proton packs.
Yeah,
David.
come on.
Okay,
David.
all right. I'm sorry. I was.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you don't know how to,
you're sorry.
if you don't know how to operate a nuclear proton pack, then I can't help you.
And
But
neither
that was
can
the part
God.
that kind of made me get out of the movie for several.
That's the
like,
part?
seconds. Yeah, because
Not
like
the
I was
ghost.
like up until the fact I was like, okay, they're doing what like not that I would be ever
Not
in this
Ghost Harold
situation.
Ramis.
Yeah, not the supernatural ghosts erupting from a mountain.
That makes plenty of sense based on the universe that they've created, but the hey, I'm just gonna intuitively know because I just know how to operate this thing. Makes
Not
sense.
Paul Rudd walking through a Walmart that's completely empty.
Yeah, and
It wasn't
super
completely
clean.
empty. There was one person. I pretty sure there was at least one person.
That was
I
the
was like,
cleanest Walmart I've
yeah, I
ever
was like,
seen.
dude, that's also like the biggest Walmart in a city that probably has like 80 people in it.
Did you see all those sales though? Like the value at Walmart,
I know.
$287 Baskin Robbins, Walmart,
the
man.
selection.
And the dog food's also on sale. What else can't you get at Walmart? I don't know. Let's find out.
I think along this a little bit along the same vein as David was talking about. This kind of goes into what I kind of dinged it for, and then it seems kind of like a dumb thing now that David said it. But I think one of my gripes was that like the whole movie I felt did a good job of kind of bringing in these new characters, these young kids, teenage whatever, and in kind of getting them into the universe, because I feel like a lot of movies when they have like kids or young people involved, they're just too with it. They just get it too quickly, or everything works out for them, kind of thing. There's nothing they have to struggle with. Whereas I thought in this movie they did a pretty good job with oh shoot, I don't even know her name, Phoebe.
Phoebe?
Yeah.
Showing her like she's definitely like a smart kid, but she has her flaws. She's kind of socially awkward, and she may not know everything, but she like because like she's looking at when she first goes downstairs to the thing into the little basement area, she's starting to look at it, but then she's starting to take apart the proton pack and all this stuff, and Egon, the ghost of Egon, is helping her, and then if someone later on asks like how did you do this, it's like he showed me how. It's like, okay, that makes sense, because there's no way this as smart as she is, there's no way she'd be able to do anything with this stuff that Egon's like spent his entire life doing. But then the part that I kind of got tripped up on was in like when she goes to test fire the proton pack. She's strapping this on something to her body that was cumbersome for a full grown man, and she's just kind of walking around with it. I thought that was I got a little hung up on that part, but and
like,
then as well, also when like
she's probably like 95 pounds soaking wet, and it's like, you can handle that? What the hell?
yeah, that thing probably weighs like more than her. But and then also when like it seemed like when Podcast was just like he just kind of like we got like this whole build up with Phoebe like learning how to use the proton pack, and then Podcast just kind of like gets the remote control trap and he knows exactly how to use it.
It's Gizmo. It's Gadget. Whatever his name is. He knows what's going on.
I think despite that little concern about it, I did enjoy that sequence when they were driving around trying to get the ghost.
Because it failed, right? It was like they didn't do well.
Yeah, they didn't do well, but it was like a nice little evolution in like the technology you've seen in the previous movies, and it's just like, oh, that's kind of neat,
Yeah, and I'm not saying I definitely liked it. That was just like those stupid little things I got hung up on, where it's like first, she's strapping this thing that probably weighs like over 100 pounds onto her back, and walking around with no problem, and then Podcast figures out how to use all the traps and stuff with like no problem.
Yeah, I had the same gripe about Podcasts, like learning how to use all the different like technologies in the car pretty quick. I didn't have a gripe with Phoebe learning how to use the proton pack, just because I didn't know how heavy it was. Like I didn't like probably in the first movie they made a big deal about like, oh, this is really heavy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they explicitly say that, but I think just from like
watching them run and stuff like that, and
just
trying
from
to
their
maneuver
movements
around it.
I mean, there might have to go pay attention to the closer detail about them, but I could just, I mean, even if they didn't, I would have to imagine that kind of equipment that does what it does is not going to weigh nothing. It's gonna be pretty damn hefty. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think this is a good entry into it, and clearly we're going to get another one with the way it looks.
I hope.
It looks like we're going back to New York City.
Is it going to be a continue? Are we actually going to get a Ghostbusters 3 now?
Ghostbusters Afterlife 2.
Or
different from Ghostbusters 3.
Life.
Yeah.
Also, I'll say this because because I know we touched on it, but when the reveal at the end where you get the original Ghostbusters standing there, I lost my shit. I was like,
Yeah,
yes,
that was great.
yes. Fuck you, 2016 Ghostbusters. Yes.
Man, that 2016 Ghostbusters really were living in your head.
It is. It is.
we found Stu's Quantum of Solace.
Wait,
What?
whose is that?
Yeah,
That Quantum of Solace is mine.
Oh.
Oh.
That
Okay.
is living rent free for quite some time.
Yeah, didn't you have go on for like 20 minutes about
Oh no,
how all these...
I kept bringing up how drastically different it was from
No.
Quantum of Solace. Yeah, never
Wait,
mind.
how
Let's-
Ghostbusters 2016 is different from Quantum Assault. What?
no, stop it.
We'll
We're
never
not
know
talking
because I never seen it. So
You skipped all the bad ones. All right, guys, any other thoughts before we go ahead and wrap this one up?
Well, did you have a favorite moment, David?
yeah, David.
I think it was the original interaction between Phoebe and the was it Mr. Gunderson, I think is his name.
Yeah,
What's it?
you mean Gary?
Gary Gruberson.
I thought you were being obtuse.
I thought all of those little like one line like reminds me so much of the original Ghostbusters and how they were very cheeky about how they interacted with the ghosts, right? Like you were saying, Stu, previously, that like um that Bill Murray's character Venkman is always kind of like talks crap to these spirits and these ghosts and stuff like that, and really just gives it to him. And I think like she is going to be the one who's going to carry this series. I'm hoping to if there's a second and a third. I don't know what their plans are, but at least there's going to be a second one. It does have some stuff to live up to just because how well she carried herself and how she kind of like played into this kind of naive but kind of cocky also at the same time because of the fact that
Yeah.
she knows she's smarter than everybody else, kind of thing. And she's like, I am my grandfather's daughter, granddaughter kind of thing. So that was the part I really enjoyed, was just anytime that she was on screen, she definitely carried her weight, and definitely carried a lot of those scenes for sure.
Yeah, I think definitely her, and like just her interactions with podcast and Paul Rudd was definitely very I don't know, it just felt right. It just felt good like watching it, because sometimes I don't know, some movies I don't think can handle that stuff properly, but I think this was done very well. I think not that this was my favorite part, but one of my favorite parts was at the end when I'm watching the credits. It's like, okay, yeah, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, yeah, and Sigourney Weaver, and I'm sitting there like,
Wait, when she's in
wait
the
a
movie?
minute, who was she? And then, and then it just like, oh, here's a stinger with Sigourney Weaver in it,
Playing cards.
where they're doing the same thing that Bill Murray was doing in the first movie when we were first introduced to him. So that was
so that's a nice little callback for sure. I feel like the pacing for this one kind of reminds me of what kind of shook up the Marvel series, right? Remember, we had all gotten all these, like, we had gotten Iron Man, we had gotten Captain America, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we got Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Completely different style, a much more humorous. I mean, I know that was kind of like the thing about the Marvel movies in the first place, was kind of not take itself so seriously for the most part, but those were like serious superhero movies. And then came along, the guy from what's his name? He played Andy Dwyer, and I remember his character's name. Yeah, Chris Pratt. And it's just like I know his name from Parks and Rec, but for some reason I can't remember. Star-Lord, and you kind of get this like really. It's a completely like different, like almost like flips the entire series on its head. I feel like this is what it is. It's a change of pace. It's like a taste changer, I guess. And I thought it was done well. So that's kind of the way I kind of look at it from the entire like catalog of Ghostbuster stuff.
Yeah.
Is that this is kind of like just completely just changing, not necessarily changing 180, but definitely changing your perspective, like going at least 90 degrees in a different direction and going, okay, this is how we're going to carry the rest of the series. And I think everybody was good as long as they send Finn Wolfhard to college or something like that, and then we don't see him.
please.
Just get rid of him. I don't think he was necessary at all.
He wasn't.
Like I think he was like the Tig Notaro of this movie for if we're gonna be shoehorning people.
No,
into,
I mean,
into movies.
Tig Notaro at least was trying, you know.
No, I know she was put in an impossible position, but
Yeah.
like if you're just gonna CGI people, that's the first thing I think of is Army of the Dead and the fact that they got rid of
Cresselia.
Just release the cut already. I'm still waiting for it.
You're never gonna
Release the
get it. I
Snyder
don't
Cut
think you're
Part
gonna
2.
get it. You're not gonna get it.
Release the Dalia cut.
Release Dalia. Free Dalia.
You know, there was a point in the movie. I know we've been talking about like a whole bunch of humorous points, but there was like a sort of like a tense moment in the movie that actually stuck out as one of my favorites when the police captain was talking shit about Igor. You know, like saying
Oh
he was
yeah,
a
the
dumb
dirt farmer. They kept calling him.
Well, I mean, everyone called him that, but you know, it's just like when he like really like drove it into her. It's like, well, you know, you're your grandfather's granddaughter, you know, and he was a dumb dirt farmer, you know, and she like grabs the proton pack and like aims it at him. It's just like, oh fuck,
you
know?
fucked up.
I thought I was like, damn,
what?
she's really gonna kill him. Holy fuck.
Blast him. Do it.
I felt, you know, some catharsis there. I'm like, yeah, fucking do it. Come on, fucking do it. But yeah, it was a very. I enjoyed myself overall, and I would not mind seeing another entry in the series.
Yeah,
I
definitely wait. For
I think I only would really want to see another entry if they can continue to bring back Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. And
I don't know about Bill Murray. I feel like out of the three, Bill Murray might be the most difficult to get on.
Yeah, maybe, but
is it because he's got so much other stuff going on, or he just kind of wants to leave this?
I feel like he might not even really care.
What if we greenlit Garfield 3 and Ghostbusters?
No.
it's a package deal.
What was the name of the movie that he was trying to push in Zombieland?
I can't remember.
It was a Garfield movie. I remember that, but I don't remember what it was called.
Garfield 3.
At least try to continue to bring back the originals. Like,
yeah,
keep them involved, because they kind of ended this movie like, oh shit, they're heading back to New York. Like, are they gonna be doing stuff? Like,
I really hope they have more of what's his name? Is it his name Ernie Hudson?
Ernie Hudson,
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd, any of them.
Yeah, I like that, you know, that stinger where they kind of reveal what's her face with Egon, you know. That was, I felt like that was a kind of a sweet moment, you know.
Passing of the torch, so to speak.
Well, no, it was like how that was revealing her to be their grandmother, right, or something. Or am I misinterpreting that?
You know what? Shit, I didn't stay for the entire thing. I thought that was it.
Oh, well, I mean, like,
but I kind of assumed. I mean, just from based on the original movies,
yeah,
that what's her name? Because she was the secretary in the originals, and they kind of hinted at them having a relationship. So I just kind of assumed that was the case.
Yeah,
but I think they cemented that idea like during that stinger where they showed like a clip of that, and she's holding the coin and she's like holding it, you know, very fondly. Yeah, I think that was a very nice, sweet moment. And then going on to Ernie Hudson talking about all that other stuff, you know, that was really cool. So yeah. I do want to see more of this, and I hope.
God damn it! Now I got to go watch it again and stay for the credits the whole way.
And
or you just find out when the next showing is, sneak into the last part, and then you can catch West Side Story.
Nope.
By the way, the movie we're referencing for Zombieland Double Tap, the movie that Bill Murray is pushing, is Garfield 3 Flabby Tabby.
Wait,
that was the movie. That was in the post.
Zombieland Double Tap.
Yeah, the second
one.
Yeah, there's a post-credit scene where it kind of shows how the zombie apocalypse kind of happens
on someone. And...
You watched the second one,
didn't you?
No.
We all watched Double Tap. What are you talking about?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, wait. You know what? You're right. Ben was in Korea.
In Korea?
We reviewed it.
Or Japan. Whatever. It's all
Japan
the same.
Or whatever. Eating
one has ramen and one has
7-Eleven.
And one has KFC, all right? Actually, no, they both have KFC.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Where don't they have KFC?
Well, one has KFC and one has KFC.
One has noodle soup and one has a different noodle soup.
One's Sundabu and the other one's also Sundabu. All right. Guys, any other thoughts before we wrap this one up? No? Okay.
No.
All right. Well, guys, join us next week as we cover in our movie of the week, Spider-Man No Way Home. As always, definitely follow us wherever you're getting your podcasts, available on SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, Google, and Apple Podcasts. And we're also on Twitch, if you haven't figured out that by now. Twitch.tv/dose1/2 spelled 5incos. 5incos.
Well,
And as always, I've been your host, David.
I'm Stuart.
And I'm Ben.
Guys, don't forget to tip your Reiki masters. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.
Bye.